Dr. Mahmoud Baumia challenging assertions that the government has been consistent with payment of nursing trainee allowances. Thank you very much for joining us now. The government is increasingly coming under pressure to halt the depreciation of the cedi against major trading currencies. The local currency has lost about 20% of its value against the US dollar since January. The cedi is currently averaging around 14 cedis, 50 pesos to a dollar on the forex market. Businesses say in addition to losing their working capital through forex losses, the cost of doing business has also gone up due to the cedi's depreciation.
Especially when we are owing in the foreign currency, especially the US dollar, it is getting unbearable because then you have to fund more cedis and add up before you can actually pay your indebtedness. You know, the business that we do in the US dollars. When you go and buy the goods, when you are shipping the goods, the freight charges are paid in dollars. Now the freight charges have gone up again, the way it went up during the COVID era. Now it's going up, especially in the Asian areas. And then when you bring the goods to Ghana too, the duty is benchmarked with the US dollar. It means that when the dollar depreciates, the dollar appreciates the way it is doing. It means that we have to add a lot more on one transaction this time, more than you previously did. And this is what is causing prices to go up. Cost of doing business has become extremely high.
And you heard that Dr. Joseph Obing, he's the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Well, the business community is calling for a pragmatic solution to the problem. Executive Secretary for Importers and Exporters Association, Samson Asaki Awungobit, says that the Ghanaian economy will plunge into serious crisis if the managers do not find solutions soon.
Bank of Ghana increases prime rate some few months ago. The reasons were that it's as a result of the high inflation. Inflation has come down to 20 point something or 23 point something. Yet prime rate is still on the high. Interest rates at the commercial banks are high. That is affecting business. And businesses flourish, businesses trade on borrowing money from these commercial banks to do businesses. And so if interests are very high, what do you expect? And inflation is down and cedi is depreciation. What do you expect? Customs kept on changing the rate at the port. $1 is going for 50, almost 15 cedis. It's affecting everybody packet, including your good self. I think that there's a need for government to take a serious look and respect the call that everybody's calling. It's not just we, the business community, every Ghanaian, every other Ghanaian. So the cost of living is so much, is unbearable. And I strongly believe that all is about our cedi depreciation. Government must do something strategically.
Samson Awingobit is the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association. George Koenig is at the Abosokai Spare Parts Hub here in Accra. He joins us live on the line. George, what can you report from there?
Thank you so much, Beatrice. And like you rightly mentioned, I'm actually coming to you live from the one of the largest spare parts hubs in the country, Abosokai. And if you talk about the cedi depreciation, it's actually getting scary by the tick of the clock. And for me, it's more like a recipe for the closure of businesses moving forward. And personally, I've actually engaged one woman who is shop absorbers, and that's Auntie Amma. And Auntie Amma imports shock absorbers. What that means is, if Auntie Amma has a capital, an import capital of $10,000 every 6 months, and so if she used to get the same, the cedi equivalent of $10,000 used to be 10,000 cedis. And now Auntie Amma has to, accrue more cedis for the same $10,000, which let's say 14,000 cedis plus. Beatrice, when she does this, what that means is she's not going to get any profit. Her profits are plowed back again as capital for import and all that. So what is the motivation to be in business? There's no motivation. You sell, and whatever you get, you used to buy, you import again. And so there's no motivation. What they really want is the fact that, yes, if you really want to look at the imports that they do, what they import locally, 1%, they cannot get it in Ghana. So it's time for businesses to be empowered to ensure that these businesses can, produce some of these things that they import moving forward. So Beatrice, it's a serious issue here. It's a recipe for the closure of businesses moving forward. So government or the managers of the economy should ensure some sort of remedy, are brought to, salvage the situation.
Imminent closure of businesses, you say. But briefly, before you go, have there been any plans, as it were, in the interim that these traders intend to put in place to protect themselves from the shocks?
So what they mostly do is that when there's this, see depreciation and the increment in the dollar and all that, they add on the cost to the customer. So if maybe something is selling for 10 cedis, and then at the appreciation of the CD affects that, and so they increase the price of the thing. So the consumer bears the brand. So for how long will consumers be paying maybe prices for goods at different times? No, and even if they do that, some of the goods don't sell, and so you stock your shop, and the things are not selling because the prices are high. Consumers cannot buy them. So at the end of the day, yes, you will not be bearing the brand. Consumers will bear it, but they're not buying it eventually. So it comes back to you. So clearly, some solutions should be provided. It's a serious issue, and if it continues and lingers on, businesses will close, and that is what it is, and that is what leads to the lift of most businesses. Personally, I've witnessed the businesses that are closed down. It's a startup business, and this startup business was one that really took branding very serious. So most of the things that were used for packaging of the drinks were being imported, and the prices were escalating. So this startup business could not stay afloat. And personally, I'm saying this is a personal experience, and this business has closed. There are lots of them out there that have not even come out, and so it's a serious issue, which is
a serious issue, he says. Thank you very much, George Koenig, for bringing us that update from the Abosokwai spare parts hub right here in Accra. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Now let's bring you some updates. Thank you for saying. Let's bring you some updates on the Cecilia Dapar case. And we understand that on May 3, the spouse of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapar narrated to an Accra High Court the chronology of events that led to the arrest of 7 persons involved in the stealing of valuable items at the Atesano residence in Accra. 2 housekeepers of Cecilia Dapar and 5 others have pleaded not guilty to charges ranging from conspiracy to stealing, dishonestly receiving and money laundering. The case resumes this afternoon, and the court correspondent Lord Eduasare will be joining us very shortly with details from the court. I'm sure you're aware that this case has been going on for some time now, and you probably are waiting for an update as regards what's happening to the initial case that was reported to the police. And as soon as we get our court correspondent, we'll bring you that update to some other issues. And a group of nurses and midwives calling themselves the Coalition of Concerned Nurses and Midwives Trainees are hitting back at the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for suggesting that the government has been consistent with paying nursing trainee allowances as against the former President John Mahama, who scrapped it. They claim that numerous trainees from 2017 have had some of their allowances not paid. In a statement, the group said, in 2017, 1 month of arrears was not paid. In 2018, 3 months were not paid. In 2019, 4 months of arrears were not paid. They went on to add that 15 months of arrears for 2020 remain unpaid, while trainees in their 3rd year from 2021 are owed about 27 months of arrears. They are asking the government to prioritize these payments. Now, the comment comes, or the statement is coming in just a day after the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, assured that some 177 million cedis had been released to pay these arrears. Listen to the Vice President give this assurance earlier.
I wish to assure our nursing trainees also, because whenever I go, they say Alawa has not yet dropped. And so I engaged the Ministry of Finance, and the minister has in fact sent me the evidence that by Thursday, this Thursday, the controller is transferring 177 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Health to pay the nursing training allowances. So I have also alerted Dr. Okuboi to be on standby. When the money hits the Ministry of Health account, they should move it quickly to the accounts of the nursing trainees so that they will have their alawa. It will drop by the grace of God.
And that was Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bami. I'm joined on the line now by one of the conveners of this group. We're talking about Robert Agbeti. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you too for having me.
So you...
Good afternoon to your cherished listeners.
Thank you very much. You've given us a list as regards the mums of arrears owed you. First, how have you been coping? Hello, Mr. Agbeti. I was asking how you've been coping without your arrears being paid for mums.
Thank you for the question. I must say it's been very difficult coming by financial hardship that we are exposed to due to the non-payment or the delayed payment of allowances. The issue has to do with how we get money to do our research work, our case study, and when we go for clinical, the money to buy glass or amenities for the hospital as they engage you in their clinical services. So it's been very difficult.
It's been very difficult, you say, but is your statement not coming in rather too late? Because the Vice President yesterday said that some monies had been released for onward payment, exactly 177 million cedis. The transfer is expected to be done tomorrow, Thursday, and your statement is coming in now. Isn't it too late?
Well, people may say it came in late, but we believe that this is the right opportunity to iron out some issues. Our issue here is not based on the allowance the Vice President said is going to pay, but rather the arrears that have spanned over from parties dating 2017 to date that have not been paid. As we are taking data available to us, had it that the government owed the 2017 by that completed in 2020 1 month arrears. The 2018 bad were also 3 months arrears.
Yes, so we are aware you put that in your statement and we read it some minutes ago, but are you confident of you receiving your payment soon, especially with this latest assurance coming in from the Vice President?
We are not confident until we see it happening.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Robert Agbeti. He is with a group of midwives and nurses calling themselves the Coalition of Concerned Nurses and Midwives Trainees, also expressing their concern about the non-payment of allowances. Now, members of the Locked Up Investment Holders Forum are picketing this afternoon to demand the payment of their locked up investment. The forum comprises persons who have invested in finance houses and savings and loans companies licensed by the Bank of Ghana and cannot access their investment. They are demanding the government makes financial provision to enable the Bank of Ghana to revoke the licenses of insolvent finance houses and savings and loans companies and pay depositors' funds. Crosby Nobolanan is there for us. He joins us with some more. Crosby, we've seen some videos. I wonder what's happening now at the Finance Ministry.
Well, this is at the moment, the protest has ended. The protesters have dispersed, as you would expect, but it was a peaceful, quiet protest, maybe because of the ban on the drumming and noise-making. The protesters who came here and their numbers comprising of customers from various financial institutions are demanding one thing, that their investments be made available to them and that these financial institutions be declared insolvent. These financial institutions, their licenses be withdrawn from them because the investors are not able to to access their locked up funds. That mainly has been their demand. But they were able to meet with Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Stephen Amwa, who was entering the building while the group was here. He spoke with the convener of the group, Dr. Adu, who was not too happy with the response from the Deputy Finance Minister, because the Deputy Finance Minister suggested to say that he was yet to see their petition, he was yet to see their letters to the ministry demanding action from the ministry over what we're talking about. So he was not too pleased about it. However, he was willing to give them the benefit of doubt, such that he will, in the coming days, beginning today, look for their letters and begin to address their concerns.
So, Crosby, I want you to hold on there. I want us to listen to Adu Anienchi, who is one of the conveners of this group. Just hold on and we'll come to you.
And have a discussion with the minister and give us a response as soon as practicable. We have told him we are coming here every Wednesday. Therefore, if we get a response and the response is such that we don't have to come, we won't come. If the response is not what will let us not come here, we will come. We have got here our message across. Now, if he didn't know, he has known. But I don't want to go into administrative to ask you why don't you, because everybody to the ministry. So let us allow them, now that he has also seen the matter, and he's now going to look at the letter. I say he will find the letter. I don't have a copy of the letter to give you. So you should find the letter and discuss to the appropriate minister, whatever other people have to discuss, and tell us what they are going to do.
And you heard that Adu Anienchi, he is convener of the Pensioners Bondholders Forum, a part of the group picketing the Finance Ministry. Today, as you heard, that picketing ended some minutes ago. But we stay on labour issues because teacher unions in the central region have hit the principal streets of Cape Coast to demand better working conditions. The aggrieved teachers are heading to the office of the Central Regional Coordinating Council, where they are expected to make an address and then present a petition to the Regional Minister Marigold Justina Asen. Thomas Khan is following them for us. Joins us live. Thomas, what can you report? So we'll get in touch with Thomas Khan very shortly. But also in the Eastern region, some teacher unions are considering a strike on May 31 if the government does not approve the 4 requested allowances demanded. A petition has been presented to the Regional Coordinating Director, John Donko, for action. Yvonne Nekwe is a lady who is also covering this story for us. She'll be joining us very shortly to give us the latest on this, but you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Thank you so much for staying. Let's go to the Eastern region where Yvonne Nekwe is standing by to give us details regarding the teachers who want to go on a strike. Yvonne, what can you tell us about their demands and why this time?
Well, the teachers' demands have not changed from what they mentioned 1 week ago, precisely giving government ultimatum. They're talking about deprived area allowance, extra assessment allowance, dating book allowance, and continuous professional development allowance. For them, there's a priority out of the 17 they've been requesting government to do. And so, as of 31st of this month, of this May, if negotiations do not speed up, it means that they will have to lay down their tools, because what they have observed is that the government and its officials who are supposed to ensure that relevant actions taking are not on the negotiation tables. It's actually more of dragging the effort towards the negotiation table.
Yvonne, I'm aware that the leadership is still in negotiations with the NLC. Does this ultimatum indicate a loss of faith in the negotiation process, as it were?
Well, if you look at the demeanor of the teachers today, it looks like they've lost faith in the process. They feel that the commitments and the promises government and its officials gave them when they first declared the strike action, by now they should have had a positive reaction from them. But unfortunately, they haven't received information from their national leaders and government as of yet. They've lost faith in the process, and so this decision is coming from what they have observed over the past week since they gave that ultimatum.
Thank you very much. Yvonne Nekwe reporting live from the Eastern region. We head to the Central region now. Thomas Khan is standing by for us. Over there, the teachers have already hit the streets. Thomas, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so the teachers have already converged at the Central Regional Coordinating Council, where after walking through the principal street of Cape Coast, holding some placards, which they've been expressing some of their grievances. Some of the grievances, they say, has to do with their working conditions. And then as I speak to you, they are here at the Coordinating Council. And their leadership made attempts to present their petition to the regional minister. But unfortunately, we are told the regional minister is not in town. So some deputy directors at the Regional Coordinating Council were there to receive the petition. And the leadership made attempts to present the petition to these directors. But unfortunately, the angry teachers did not allow that and did not allow their leadership to present the petition to these directors. And they claimed that after the long walk, they were expected to present this petition to the regional minister, Justina Marigold Asman, and not her deputies. So these teachers did not allow their leadership to present the petition. And this also became a clash, and it had to take the intervention of the Ghana Police Service to restore calm. So as I speak to you, they are still here, and the petition has not been presented.
Thomas, what can you tell us about the impact of this demonstration, as it were, on academic activities today?
Well, I would say it's been very impactful. But again, what we gathered is that teachers were drawn from all the various associations or the unions within the teaching profession, like NAGRAT and all of that. So they think that coming together as a union, definitely government will be made to sit up. And again, this has also affected, in one way or the other, academic activities in the various schools, because some of the teachers had to join this demonstration.
Thank you very much, Thomas Khan, reporting live from the Central region. As you heard there, teachers have hit the street demanding better conditions of service. We head to the Central region because the running mate to 2024 National Democratic Congress flag bearer, Professor J. Nano Pokwajiman, has met with players in the poultry industry. The meeting in Kumasi highlighted the opposition party's plans of boosting the poultry industry. Professor Pokwajiman is also expected to visit the Kumasi Central Market, as well as some voter registration centers in the region. William Evans Inkum is monitoring her visit. He joins us live now. William, what has been the atmosphere like?
Well, so it's been like the players of the poultry industry sharing their concerns with the 2024 running mate of the National Democratic Congress, also telling her some of the things that they think are not being done right, especially support that they will expect from the government when there's an outbreak of bird flu, something that they describe has been very inadequate over the years. And to them, it looks like government focus on imported poultry is paramount than boosting the local industry. So they want to see a deliberate policy that will change the narrative if the NDC should win the 2024 elections.
But generally, what has been the acceptance like, or how people are reacting to the visit of Nano Pokwajiman?
Well, so currently she is with the Poultry Farmers Association, and you could see people who are highly disappointed. I've seen some of them, I mean, politically very close ally of the NPP, but if you hear some of the story that they've been sharing, it looks like the poultry industry hasn't been very happy under this particular administration because some of the things that they claim they've shared with the current administration, they are yet to see a full fulfillment of those promises. And of course, even before coming to power, some of the assurances that were given to them, they are not seeing, even 50% of that. So they have become, very disappointed. So they want to see, like I said, a deliberate policy that will change the narrative. As the NDC put together their manifesto.
Indeed, thank you very much, William Evans Inkum. He's our Northern Bureau Chief. Now, there are mixed reactions in Sekandi Takrade as remedial works on the PTC interchange road begins. You recall that the Roads Minister, Francis Asanso-Boakye, on a working visit to the Western region last month, pledged to provide respite to users of that stretch from the dust and potholes. My colleague in the Western region, Irama Smith, joins us via video call. Irama, I believe this should come as a relief, but I'm wondering why they are reacting differently.
The promise by the Roads Minister, Francis Asanso-Boakye, to do remedial works on the PTC interchange is being fulfilled. But there is mixed feelings among motorists here, in fact, the residents here in Sekandi Takrade. Why? Because of the traffic that is being generated because of this. Now, motorists wait at times to about an hour before they are able to pass through this short route because they block one side of the road for it to be worked on before they move to the other. There's a mixture of relief and then frustration because of the long hours or the long periods spent in traffic. You will recall that this is a Sino-Hydro project and was abandoned by the Chinese in January 2023 when the government of Ghana decided to go to the IMF for a loan. And it has been abandoned until now, with residents and motorists complaining about the impact of the potholes, the dust emanating from years. So as the Roads Minister promised and is being fulfilled, it is a relief, but then the frustration of staying in traffic for long periods is what is making it unbearable.
What more can you tell us?
The promise by the Roads Minister, Francis Asanso-Boakye, to do remedial works on the PTC interchange is being fulfilled. But there is mixed feelings among motorists here. In fact,
Irama Smith with that report. And that's how we end the news here on 3FM. Our top stories. Members of the Locked Up Investment Holders Forum picket the Finance Ministry to demand immediate payment of their locked up investment and dissolution of insolvent financial firms. Meanwhile, government reels under increasing pressure to halt the depreciation of the cedi against major trading currencies. We brought you some more. And teacher unions in central and eastern regions take to the streets to drum home concerns over poor working conditions of service. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Camera, music. The stage is set, the stars are ready, and Ghana's biggest night is here. The 25th Telisol Ghana Music Awards Night happening live on Saturday, 1st June at the Grand Arena from 7 p.m. Be part of the extravaganza of rhythm, sheer talent, and high fashion, plus all the drama of who wins what. 170 nominees, 30 awards, plus 18 superstars, all performing live. You can't miss this. Book your tickets now. Starting for 500 Ghana cedis on star 713 star 33 star 25 hash, or call our hotline on 0501 288520. The 25th Telisol Ghana Music Awards, powered by Chatterhouse, supported by Guinness, Captain Morgan, Close Up, British Council, TV3, 3FM, and sponsored by Telecel, connecting energies.
electorate gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.
And welcome to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. Coming up this afternoon, Minister for Communication and Digitalization Esla Usu Ekufo makes case for incentivizing gender diverse companies to improve women workforce.
Can we move towards giving a tax incentive to companies that employ up to 40% women? Would that encourage them to engage more women in their workforce?
Also, experts says dominance of telecommunications companies in Ghana's fintech ecosystem could stifle innovation.
I do know there is some dominance from the telecoms, and that's not usually a good thing. And so I think it might stifle innovation, and something the central bank should address.
Plus, the Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association debunks recent report by the European Union that Ghana has been used as a dumping place for second-hand clothing.
We saw that there's an activist that is including this matter has received $2 million to this propaganda. So we approached an independent research group to do a research to the ground so that they can see what is really on the ground.
My name is Menu. Afo, stay with me for details of these and many other stories. Thank you for your time. Now, with the goal of fostering gender equality and unleashing untapped talent, Minister for Communication and Digitalization Esla Usu Ekufo is making a case for incentivizing companies to employ more women in their workforce. Speaking at Day 2 of the 3i Africa Summit organized by the Bank of Ghana, she said providing tax incentives to companies that employ more women could improve gender disparities at the workplace.
Ensuring equity in procurement processes and providing tax incentives for gender diverse companies. Now, can we move towards giving a tax incentive to companies that employ up to 40% women? Would that encourage them to engage more women in their workforce? I think it's something that we can consider. We also need public and private partnerships to target training and mentorship programs for women in fintech. These programs should cover technical skills and entrepreneurial and leadership training to prepare women to scale their businesses and assume leadership roles. Ghana is steadily developing girls to women entrepreneurs through various programs to improve their participation and leadership in fintech.
That was Minister of Communication and Digitalization Esla Usu Ekufo there. Also, an expert has expressed worry about the dominance of telecommunication companies within Ghana's fintech sector. According to Chief Executive Officer of Future Africa, the situation, if not checked, could stifle innovation and growth of Ghana's fintech ecosystem. He was speaking to 3 Business at the 3i Africa Summit underway in Accra.
The human capital development, especially in the light of some of the new technologies and platforms that exist and the existence of AI, before we are able to create a more sustainable platforms for investing in more fintech.
It's good you mentioned AI. I was actually coming to that. Does this actually threaten the fintech space, or it actually comes to complements this?
Again, I think it depends on the quality of your human capital. There's 2 sides of the AI argument. Those it will replace and those it will enable. I think if we invest in human capital, we can be on the right side of that. I don't know very much about how Ghana's ecosystem is evolving. I do know there is some dominance from the telecoms, and that's not usually a good thing. And so I think it might stifle innovation, and something the central bank should address.
Chief Executive Officer of Future Africa, Inoluwa Oboyeji, there. Away from that, the Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association has debunked recent reports by the European Union that Ghana has been used as a dumping place for second-hand clothing. The association, through a research led by Dr. Stephen Odonko, Metropolitan Research and Education Bureau, identified that both new and used clothes contribute little to the country's total waste, with plastics, paper, and metal waste leading the chart. Atobra Edward Binkley, General Secretary of Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association, spoke to the media after the launch of the research findings.
Years back, at the European Union, when we saw the report, it was unfortunate. And we saw that there is an activist that is intruding into this matter who has received an amount of $50 million to do this propaganda. So we approached an independent research group to do a research to the ground so that they can see what is really on the ground. And that is why this day we are launching our research. This is the first research the Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association has ever launched. And those flawed information, that doesn't stand for scrutiny. It doesn't have any data-driven, it doesn't have any scientific analysis. And these are data that has been managed to be misinforming the outside community and the Western community. And this, our research, is tentative and academic, and it is well done to have a voice in the debates ongoing in Europe.
You heard Atobra Edward Binkley, General Secretary for Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association. Meanwhile, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obing, indicated the findings from the research would be made known to the European Union.
So there are a lot of lies going around. Which we need to expose. That's why we also employed a well-qualified consultant to do the research for us, and we've seen what people, those liars are saying is that Ghana is the dumping ground for second-hand clothing. Is it true? Where do we have that dumping ground? Tell me, because it came on BBC, and then they showed some picture. We want to see the dumping ground in Ghana. It is not going to be found. And what the research is also telling us is that the entirety of dumping of different materials, the textiles represent about 2.2%. So where lies the truth that about 40% of textiles that come here is being dumped and going waste, and then is being hazardous to the environment? It is not true. There's no known disease that can be attributed to the use of second-hand clothes. There's no, have you heard it? There's no scientific proof.
Dr. Joseph Obing is president of GUTA, and now in a significant move to tighten regulations on businesses to protect the rights of local businesses from multinational companies, Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tua Yeboah has indicated government will partner ActionAid Ghana to have a binding treaty on transactional trade. The move has become necessary with the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which is to ensure trade without barriers within member countries. He addressed the media in Accra.
You know, we live in this world where people engage a lot of businesses. So we even want to business by harnessing our resources. So this is seeking to regulate businesses vis-a-vis human rights. If you're a business person, the motive may be to make profit. But that's where you must make profit at the expense of human rights. If, for example, you're a mining company, you are mining in a country, it's expected that you may want to have some kind of returns on your investment. But that doesn't mean that you must also violate certain fundamental rights of the people, especially when it comes to environment. So this treaty is seeking to look at those areas to ensure that business will run effectively, but at the same time also make sure that people's rights are respected in various countries. We're seeking to fine-tune the drafts. There's a zero draft, and we have it. Then in October, there will be a conference in Geneva where inputs will be made, with understanding that we're going to have this treaty properly drafted and adopted, and then countries will have to ratify them.
Well, that was Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tua Yeboah there. That will be all for today's edition of Business Daily. For more business stories, please kindly log on to our website on 3news.com. My name is Menu Afro. Do stay tuned. Urban Blended is up next with Black Rasta.